So I'm here at the COOP at Los Sores right now, and I have 5 chickens with me. I'm going to be taking them back to flock. These are some of the older girls or the smaller girls that are not getting enough attention here because it's been challenging to basically get volunteers. So if you're somebody who's interested in volunteering at a COOP, I would highly encourage. This is in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. But I'm going to take these 5 girls because they are a bit more special needs. Like I said, they're small. They may have some health issues. So I'll be taking these 5 home with me. My friend Daryl is driving down from Massachusetts, believe it or not. He's going to be meeting me here probably in the next 10 to 15 minutes. And so I'm going to pack these girls up and we're going to drive up together to flock. It's going to be a long drive, but hopefully they will be happy to see the coop that we've built. The coop was yet to be finished. I've been gone for 3 days, but Saunder's been working really hard putting in the doors and windows on. So I'll be just as surprised as you when we see it. We are going to head off pretty soon. It'll probably take us roughly 4.5, 5 hours. All the other girls are in the back. I got them in and they're pretty calm. Leche is the only one who's a little anxious, I think, but I think she'll calm down as we start to travel. All right, baby. All right, as you can see, I'm in my element and we'll have to give a full coop tour, but I wanted to introduce you to our lovely ladies. This is Cap, Cappuccino, Cap for short. She is one of the hens from Los Sores, so we ended up taking 5 hens. She's a little scared of the camera. Are you camera shy?
It's nothing to do with it.
Cap actually has some trouble walking, so we took a bunch of, let me give you a context. We went to Brooklyn. I went to Brooklyn, met my friend there, and they have about 13 chickens. And I've been with this coop for years. I don't know, probably 10 years. When I first got Kippy, who is my indoor house hen, for some of you who might know that I had a Rhode Island Red foster hen for a while. And I found this coop through word of mouth, and I ended up volunteering there. It's part of a senior center. And some of their chickens were getting a little bit older, and we figured we would take those girls because they had trouble finding volunteers. So anybody who's in Brooklyn, there's still 8 hens there. They're some of the more vibrant younger girls, the ones that weren't getting picked on. So this is Cappuccino over here. And then you'll see Leche, who's the big fuzzy white one, and she has fuzzy white feet as well. Cappuccino is not liking the camera. And both of those girls have a funny gait. So they are starting to limp, and I think it was because their roost were so high. This one's a little Spitfire right now. This is actually a Spitzhauben. She will attack your hands and she will attack your feet. And she is one of probably a small bantam. Her other sister is a golden sea bright, and I named this one was named Zebra, but I've renamed her Kiria, which is a Japanese form of art that takes usually black and white cut paper, and so I like that for the prints. And then her sister, who's here, is a gold sea bright. And she's the smallest of all of them, little bantam, and I renamed her. Her name was Butterfly, and I renamed her to Makia, which is also a Japanese form of art where they use basically gold and black inlay, kind of like a lacquer form of art. And then let me show you Louise. You can't miss her. Louise is down here. She looks like she's about to take a dust bath. I've kind of renamed her Louisa. She had a sister, and they were both broiler chickens. I guess they were meat hens. And they wound up on some Brooklyn brownstone apartment, and her sister was called Thelma, and she's called Louise because they somehow escaped a meat market. I ended up taking her. She didn't have feathers for the longest time, and the girls kept on picking on her, but now she has some feathers. So she's kind of recovering from all of that, but she's looking great now. I have the least amount of relationship with her because I had, moved from Brooklyn and wasn't volunteering when she was there, but I ended up taking her as well. And the 5 of them have become quite a posse, actually. Before they were all kind of getting picked on and now they've become part of a tribe. And if you hear in the background, come here, that is my impulse rescues there. And this is meant to be a chicken coop, and we'll give you a full chicken coop tour at some point. But these are my rescue runner ducks, and this is Faro in the front, and then that's his sister Flax in the back. And they have become quite a diversion as well. They're a little bit more energetic, I would say, than the chickens. I think if I only took the chickens, it would have been a lot easier on me, because the ducks are a bit more demanding. They require a bit more. They're a little bit messier. They love fresh water. Every morning I'm bringing them like a warm bath water, which they absolutely love. And here, I'll give them some treats over here. Indian runner ducks, they're probably quite flighty, but you could tell these are raised by hand, and then they were let go in Prospect Park in Brooklyn. And they were chasing after other humans, so they were rescued by Jessica from They All Want to Live. She runs a small kind of boutique animal rescue facility in Brooklyn, specializing in ducks. And it's just a cautionary tale that a lot of people think it's a cool idea, especially around Easter, or maybe for in school they'll like hatch chickens and they'll hatch ducks, and then they're all cute and fuzzy, and then when they get big they don't know what to do with them, and so people unfortunately take the domestic ducks or take the domestic chickens and they put them out in parks. And so I wish people wouldn't do that, because they rescue so many ducks and they can't find enough homes for them. These ducks would just become food for other animals. So I ended up taking Faro and Flax, and they have been a delightful mix to the coop. Even though the coop is really not designed for them, we've kind of made amends with it. You could see I have this tub here for them that they could come and dunk their heads in, and they often like to get into the tub as well. But I'm constantly changing that water out like a couple times a day, whereas with the chickens, it would be a little less like hectic. You can see the chickens are all lazing around. And the one thing I've also noticed with the chickens and the ducks is that the chickens, once they go to bed, especially living with a chicken, because I've lived with Kippy for 3 years in my Brooklyn apartment, once they go to bed, they're in bed and they want to be in bed and they want to have quiet. The ducks are semi-nocturnal, so we see them on the cameras. They get up at night constantly, probably 3 or 4 times a night. They're switching the spaces where they want to go to bed. They eat in the middle of the night. They get the munchies. They are drinking quite a lot. And you could remove the food and water from the coop, but they naturally would in their kind of more native environment. They would actually, get up and eat. And so that's just kind of funny, because you could see that the chickens get a little bit annoyed when they start to wake up. But otherwise, these chickens are really chill. They're enjoying their golden years. They're in their retirement years. And we joke, because since we've gotten them, which is maybe 3 weeks ago we've gotten them? 2 weeks, Sonder? How many eggs have we gotten from all of them?
0.
0. I mean, some of these girls are absolutely retired. In the case of Cappuccino, she woke up this morning and she crowed. And so she's 8. She's probably the oldest chicken, so she's probably not going to be laying any eggs. Leche is about 6 years old, and I'm guessing the others are probably around 2 or 3 years old. So, so this is my little flock. I will leave space here for the other chickens in Brooklyn if I need to take them. Otherwise, I'm not planning on getting any more chickens right now. It's really hard for me to hold back because now we have this coop. But I want to give these girls some peace and quiet in their final years. And hopefully we'll have them for much longer. I mean, we had another girl, Vita, and she lived to be 10 years old. But I know some of these girls are going through it. And Louise, they normally would probably axe Louise at age 2 and turn her into a meat chicken. And you could see that she has like a lot of girth. She's very Rubenesque. So that weight could actually play a huge part on her heart and her air sacs and everything like that. So I don't know how long she has. Those smaller hens, they're a little bit more hardier, I would say. And Cappuccino came with like 3 other hens, Canella, Cleo, and Einstein, and all of those girls have passed now. So Cappuccino, even though she has a bad gait, she could still walk around. She jumps up and down. But but I'm going to try to eliminate her from like jumping up and down because I don't want any more pressure on her joints. This is part of our new flock, I guess, our chicken and duck family. And they've been getting along fairly well, but it's just been a lot of fun. I've been spending almost like too much time out here in the chicken coop, and I promise we'll give you a full tour of the chicken coop in probably a week or two. We just need to finish up some final things within the coop, so you're seeing bits and bobs of it. But yeah, more to come later. Burp, burp, burp.